there like a background one?
Also, just as a pro tip, I will never be mature enough to not respond to Zoom getting a voice like 3 months ago. I don't know why they decided to do that, but it's
It's real strange. That scared me just a little bit. So
Matt and I have been trying to give her a name. Like Alexa has her name. Google doesn't have a name, I don't think.
Google's name is Google, I believe.
Yeah, Siri's on the phone. Does an Android have something besides Siri?
It's Google. It's Google Assistant.
It's Google Assistant? Okay.
Yeah.
So we got Siri, we have Alexa. I voted that because Zoom is related to work, its name should be Karen. Matt says you can't name her Karen. I would like your input on this.
Karens are customers, so you can't name them Karen. But they're like, I feel like everyone has like a Carol that they was like a manager that they really didn't like. So, and it's close to Karen. So Carol, perhaps.
I had growing up, our next door neighbor was named Carol, and she was an A1 cunt.
Fuck yeah, Carol it is.
So I'm totally okay with Zoom's name being fucking Carol.
We are not consulting anyone else, especially not the Zoom people. It's Carol.
Oh fuck no! I'm gonna get the fucking I'm gonna get the patent before they do. Fuck them, I'm gonna run. So what did you make? You made a video surface or calls? No, I just wanted the name. They could keep the rest of that shit. I just need the name and whatever profit comes from that. Hey, with that being said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're chilling. No, you're good. I was coughing, actually.
Not cough louder. Let everyone hear you. With that being said, I struggled with this all day on how I'm going to introduce you because it's really weird. It's like the professional side of it should be, I have Chris from Life in Discord. Now, because I've known you for 10 plus years, I have never called you Chris from Life in Discord. So I was like,
it's normally
introduce him?
This fucking douchebag.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm nuts. Fuck. Like, what do I call him? And so I was like, but being professional, as we always try hard to follow the highest form of professional. I don't even know the next word the fucking comes after professional.
Professional conduct. The highest level of professional conduct.
There you go. See, this motherfucker's got it figured out. We have Chris from Life in Discord. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm fantastic, actually. It's been a good day. How's the podcast business going?
It's been good. Today kind of turned into a little bit of a shit show as far as I had a personal thing come up. So I had to cut the morning stream my second morning stream. Chris and I exist at very different times of the day.
Opposite, actually, I believe.
So
I'll be real with you. I woke up at noon today. Like,
hey, there we go. See? So I woke up at 3 a.m.
Yeah. 9-hour difference there. And I'm tired right now. I don't know how you're alive.
I do hard foul from 4 to 5:30, and then I give myself about a 2-hour gap to start editing. And as long as nothing else goes wrong, which today I had a bunch go wrong, but if nothing else goes wrong, I've been live about 8:30 in the morning, streaming on Twitch. On Monday, I got about 8 hours of Twitch. I did 2 shows, 8 hours of Twitch. So I was live for about 11 and a half hours. Yesterday, similar. I got a little more burned out on Twitch yesterday. I was also doing a Nuzlocke and I lost like 6 Pokemon, and so my heart also just started to break.
It's like you're grieving the
it was really awkward. And, like, I didn't want to cry in the middle of it. I was just like, man,
you know what, guys? On Twitch, bro. You can't cry on Twitch. They'll ruin you.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, my wife found emotes yesterday.
Oh no,
it was all bad. So I burned out probably a little bit earlier. So I did about 6.5 on Twitch. I did an hour and a half for Hardfire Radio. Still editing. I also got a TikTok this week. I had to give in to, there is something relevant to TikTok.
Welcome to China Rules the World, the app. China knows all your shit now.
I listened to Mark Cuban last week, and he was talking to Colin Cowherd, who's, if he's not like the top sportscaster in the world, he's 1A or 1B. He's like in that space. And when you're a billionaire like Mark Cuban, you can look other really successful people in the face and just be like, do you think anyone actually listens to your show for 3 hours? And Colin was like, no, but I get to run ads for 3 hours. And Colin's like 56 years old. So he just grew up in a world when he was coming up. That was the name of the game. Get more airtime, get more ad revenue. Boom, you make yourself more valuable. And Mark brought up a really good point about like, but the future of like sports media and media in general to some degree is TikTok and Instagram videos. It's just these really short videos, because you either be the old guy who complains, oh, these kids have no attention span, or you realize these
or you
kids
get
have no
rich.
attention span, and you're like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna turn my content into 30 seconds, 2 minute
Yep.
content.
You adapt. It's very similar with music. I mean, like we're sitting here like, man, this 3 minute song sure is a lot of attention to ask for people.
Well, that's why I wanted to. Um, I'm very proud of my segue skills as I've done this for a couple of years. Is I wanted to segue from that. How do you feel as like we both listened to a lot of rock music growing up?
Mm.
And I would argue when we were growing up, we're like the last era of when rock music, well, statistically, when rock music was the number one genre in the world. I would say, give or take 2010 to 2012, you can pick your own specific year. That's when hip hop started trend in that different space. I exclude pop music because I've always
It's just
argued
constant,
that's
always,
just always
forever.
gonna be
Yeah.
whatever the most popular thing is. Rock music was pop in the
That is like
80s.
what defines pop music. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
agree.
So as hip hop win that number one spot, and obviously you've been doing music for over what 10, 12 years now, personally.
Yeah, I'm old, I
How
guess.
many years have you been playing guitar?
Freshman year of high school, and I'm gonna stop doing the math there because now I'm depressed. No,
Don't date
uh,
yourself.
14 years.
Okay.
That's about 10-year anniversary this year. 4 years, yeah, about 13, 14 years.
10-year anniversary. Damn, I need you to date me too, fucker. Like you could have just kept that shit to yourself.
I don't think no woman will allow me to date you, but we can try.
That's so how do you feel though as someone who's like who literally has lived through a transition of music? When you first started doing it, you were technically learning the most popular genre versus now you're in a genre that is, I'm not as involved in the scene, but it is going, at least from a mainstream perspective, trajecting downwards. It was obviously at the highest spot being number
Mm,
one in the world, but
mm.
trajecting downwards. How does that feel as an artist?
Uh, it's weird, right? Because around 2010, 2012, like when it was kind of, like you're saying, dropping out, was when I really started pushing super hard to like kind of perform more and make it my the central focus of my entire life, really. But I think that the fact that rock music isn't like the most important genre in the world, um, it kind of only matters when you're at a specific level. Um, I think that if you are trying to reach those massive stratospheres where you are the biggest people in the world, um, then obviously maybe you want to trend toward other things. Maybe you give up on rock music. Like if you're looking at it very business
Mm-hmm.
centric, which um, I mean, all power to you. It's a business, lots of money to be made. Well, we'll get into that later, I'm sure. But like there is a business aspect to this. If you're
Absolutely.
looking at it from a business aspect, maybe it changes how you go about your music. But um, I've found that there is still an audience for rock music. Like for me personally, and for like my bandmates, there's an audience. There's a community enough for us to be happy playing music in rock. So before I stray too far off topic, rock kind of falling out of the mainstream hasn't really affected me goal wise as much as I kind of would have imagined. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
the answers to there's like two main answers to the question, whereas like how is that affected? As well, I stopped playing rock music, or it didn't affect me. And I think my answer is closer to it didn't affect me because I love the music, and there's currently like a big enough community to for me to continue striving to find some kind of career in that community.
Absolutely. Do you consider, as a side note to that, do you consider there's subgenres in every genre of music? Do you consider the kind of music that you've primarily made or been a part of a subgenre of rock or more encompassing rock as itself?
No, I definitely think we're subgenred. I mean, when you get deep enough, genres get real strange and weird and
Yes.
kind of less defined than you might think, especially when you subdivide enough.
I listened to Hoobenstank and I was told that was rock music, and I was like, well, this
Yeah,
is a little
yeah.
different.
And then someone's like, no, 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 Metallica's rock music, and you're like, what? But uh, like I feel like Life in Discord is as much as we try to not stick into specific genres. I mean, we all grew up listening to similar areas, and that kind of affects our songwriting and what we want to play. So I would say we are kind of put into an emo, post-hardcore, like kind of early 2000s box.
Okay.
Um, uh, so I guess yeah, we would be put into a subgenre, but I also think that most people can get put in some kind of subgenre. I
No.
mean, it's just a matter of how deep into a musical community you are. Because like if someone who doesn't listen to rock music listens to My Chemical Romance, they're gonna be like, oh, that's a rock band. And someone who grew up with them and listened to like their contemporaries like Thursday or like Anne Boleyn are gonna be like, oh yeah, My Chemical Romance is like an emo kind of punk Victorian Gothic core. Like they're gonna get deeper into it because they have more of a context around it. So, um,
Victorian
I
Gothic. That's a bar.
despite the weird gray area of genres, yes, I do think we tend to inhabit a smaller subgenre.
Okay. And we're going to get into more life and Discord questions. I got a couple more and just pertaining to you. Do you feel like you picked up um, the passion of it first or the idea of it first? And by that, I mean, like, I think when anyone goes into like a new hobby, I think especially at the age you pick it up at, like if you're younger and you said since freshman high school, so 13, 14 years old, like you're still kids. If you pick up a guitar, your first thought could be like, oh, I'm going to be the biggest rock star on the planet. I'm going to be the greatest guitarist ever, that kind of thing. But do you think you got, once you finally settled in and you're like, okay, because also as kids, we also don't really know what we like 100% of the time. And we're just
Mhm,
picking up different things, trying different things, which is great. Everybody out there, let your kids
mhm.
try shit. It's really fucking cool.
Do
Promise you.
weird things, yeah.
Um, do you feel like though you picked up the passion for it first or the idea of what it could be really hit you first?
um, it's really interesting because uh, I initially picked up guitar out of spite. Like it wasn't passion or like I think I've told the story before, but I don't think I've told it on like a podcast or anything. So I was playing Guitar Hero, and
Those are the days.
for the kids out here who don't know what Guitar Hero is, it's if you don't know what Guitar Hero is,
You
I'm
can't
not
listen to
that old,
Heartfelt
am
if you
I?
don't know what
I'm
Guitar Hero is.
not. But anyway, so I was playing Guitar Hero, and it was on PS2, and sometimes the music and then the guitar would like get out of sync. So you would have to like watch the scrolling like buttons, and you'd have to play out of sync to the music. And
Mm-hmm.
like there was a summer where I just didn't have friends, so I got really really good at Guitar Hero, and I was really good, and I was playing it at a friend's house, and like it desynced. It came out of coordination, and I still managed to not miss any notes, et cetera, because I had like a million and a half hours in Guitar Hero. And I remember my friend's dad, he said, oh, the reason that you can do that is because you're not a real musician. Like a real musician would be just totally messed up by the fact that they're not playing to the music. Um, so I think it was the summer between eighth grade and freshman year, I'm pretty sure actually. And I just,
Anonymous dad with dick quote
am I
of the
allowed to
day.
swear? Am I allowed to swear?
Absolutely. I just anonymous dad with dick quote of the day.
Okay, that's fair. I was like, oh, fuck you. Like that was like so I picked up guitar out of spite and then I was like, oh, this is dope. And then I think honestly from that point it was kind of a mixture of like, oh, wait, I really like doing this and I like the idea of playing music and being in a band. And like the idea of it. So I think it was kind of a mix. I think
Okay.
I really enjoyed playing guitar. And then I really pursued writing music and being in a band because I liked the idea of it. And then when I got to get up on stage for the first time with a
That'd
band
be
playing
dope.
songs, it just clicked. And I haven't wanted to do much else since then. So,
No, that's fine. Once it that's the as someone who has tried to throw like a bunch of shit at the wall and have the idea like, oh, I think this can work, oh, I think that could work. When you really find what you love, it's almost instantaneous. And it sounds really corny and like cliche, but it's like it does just click in your head. It's like, oh yeah, this is what I like doing. Um,
oh
Also,
yeah,
shout
I
out to Guitar Hero. It birthed Avenged
it
Sevenfold and
really
Chris
did.
Jones. Like
Holy shit. There's so
that's
there's so many guitarists I've talked to who are like, look, don't judge me, but I really started when Guitar Hero came out, and I
it,
was like, yes. Like
not
it
it was
doesn't
that's
matter how
a
you start. Like,
that game is like on A&M sometimes man I will talk about like we'll get into like video game topics and one of the things I love is like the most impactful video games ever. And number one all time is Mario 64.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The first open world game, the first game to be like that, to have that many things you could do in a game is just, it doesn't matter if none of us remember how we fucking played on a 3-armed controller. It was great for what it did, and it's great for the history of it. Guitar Hero's got to be really high on that list too, because that is a game that there's. I want the stats. I don't have them, but I would love to see like Guitar Hero when it was released its first year and Guitar Center profits. Because I
Oh my God, I would
guarantee
kill
you they went through
someone.
the
It's
fucking roof.
massive. Got to be massive.
Um,
Huge. I
and for the
and like
counterpoints, DJ Hero didn't do that. So
DJ did. Yeah, no one's a DJ. We're
like,
we have a national like drought on DJs because of DJ Hero. Actually, everyone was like, "This sucks. I'm not gonna be a DJ." It's actually interesting. I feel like Guitar Hero really. I mean, it was massive. It was massive for like what 4 or 5 years, I think.
yeah,
And then there were all those other rhythm games that came out,
and
and
Rock Band for like the full set if you wanted to get the drums
oh
included
yeah,
too.
it is insane. And I mean like you see Guitar Hero and the games like Beat Saber, I think is like the number one VR game.
Oh, is
Like
that
in
the where you're doing this
it's the
shit?
one you've seen. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
100%.
I played it once.
Yeah, it's sick. But I can't imagine that something like Beat Saber would have thrived as much if Guitar
No,
Hero
that
hadn't
impact is
come out
different.
first. Yeah.
His impact matters a lot, not only just how good you are, but it's like that timing thing. Like you brought up Metallica, and it's like Metallica is just as much a, regardless of where you think they're on the greatness scale, the time and place matters just as much. And
Oh
that's why
yeah.
you go from really good band to top 5, top 10 iconic band.
Hmm.
Um, I guess we'll segue from you to the band with a kind of a question for both of you guys is, do you feel like you ever wrote music, or when you first started writing music more specifically, do you feel like you just wrote, like, do you feel like you copied someone when you were first writing music? Like it was just the sounds and the bands you used to listen to, and that was just the sounds you automatically wanted to create?
So like for Life in Discord in specific?
For you, for like just the
Oh,
entirety of writing music, and then as you've been with the band, I guess to segue into the Life in Discord is like how you first started writing music, and then how did music change writing for you when you had to include other people?
oh, so I'll start with me. I absolutely just copied the bands that I loved, um, and not consciously, I don't think, but the way that I learned guitar was I learned other band songs. I didn't take lessons or anything like
Mhm.
that. So my entire framework of playing guitar was built through playing other people's music. So what I thought of as playing guitar was shaped by how they played guitar. And I think maybe looking back at the songs that I wrote, which I haven't done in a while because it takes an emotional toll. Just oh, I sure did write this. So God.
Was it ultimatetabs.com?
Guitar
What was
ultimate guitar. There we
Ultimate
go.
Guitar?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, ultimate guitar. I still use that website every once in a
That
while
that
when I
shit
want to
was
learn song.
that shit
Slam
was
it.
ingenious to give like early access to like still kind of internet in its not infancy but still earlier days, and it's like that
Mm.
was a great, because if you
That was a
picked up a
great
guitar
tool.
from Guitar Hero, you immediately got to go look up the songs you were playing on Guitar Hero. It's like, how do I play them on a real guitar?
Yeah,
Like,
it's fucking sick. It was awesome. But yeah, I definitely think that yes, I definitely copied a lot of the people I was listening to because I didn't have like a context. Like I didn't have a awareness of what I was doing. Like I wrote like this because that was the only way I knew how to play the guitar. And I didn't have a level of self-awareness musically or artistically to realize that I was doing it. As I started getting older, um, I absolutely was like, oh, I'm just copying these people. Especially as I started listening to other styles of music and started learning that style of music. It was, oh, there's so many more possibilities, so many more ways to do different things. Um, so I started to gain that awareness and kind of, there's this weird thing where you're like, oh, well, I need to write something like no one has written, or else I'm unoriginal. Like, you just kind of fight that, like, that you fight the urge to be similar as hard as you can. So you
Hmm.
write things that you think are hyper original, and it all sounds terrible because you're not trying to write good music. You're trying to write as original as possible. But I think these days I found a middle ground, like okay, well, I want it to be original, but I don't want it to be original for the sake of being original. I want it to be original so that it's authentic to me and how I feel and how it's translated. Um, Life in Discord has from the very start had that level of awareness. Um, like, yeah, I mean, just from the start, because we've all been in bands, we've all played our instruments for long amounts of time. We're all very active in the music that we love. We have that level of awareness, and I think that if we sound like a specific band, we are aware of it and we're using it to uh, be as honest as possible. I like we that's it's a big thing that we will be writing, and then we'll sit down. Someone will play something and we'll all be jamming it, and someone will be like, "Hey, this sounds a whole lot like this part in this song," or something like that, and we are aware of it, and we kind of sometimes we do have to talk it over and be like, "Is this what we want? Is this the like direction we want to go for this song?" Um, so I forgot the question, but yes. In
No, that's it.
conclusion,
No, that's
yes. I
I can kind of build on is like, is do you feel like um what's the way that you phrase this? How much better do you feel like you are at writing music with not only your experience live in Discord, but just your experience in multiple bands? How much better do you feel like you've gotten, not just for the length of time, but like other people that you've gotten to see how they write music, comparing, practicing, playing with them? How much better do you feel like you've gotten?
the answer is I don't know. It's a
Do you
really
judge your own music, or do
oh
you believe in
harshly,
the
harshly.
what? So that was the wrong way to say that, because yes, everyone's going to judge their own product. But do you view, like, to me, like when I do a segment or I put out a video, a lot of it is self-satisfaction. If like I think now I've like 6 or 7 videos that have over 5,000 views.
Mhm.
I think I like one of them.
That's fucking sick. I mean,
Um,
that's so cool though. That's
it's but I have videos that just completely flopped. But like when I walked out the door after doing it, I felt fucking great. And so do it that with music? Like, do you feel like if you put out a song that you felt like you did, like you gave it your all, like you just walked out the fucking studio, thought, man, that was bitching. But even if it bombed from a public perception, would you still feel that way about the song?
oh yeah, there's plenty of songs, and like it is so every single release you put out is gonna there is no musician who is good at judging which song is gonna be a hit.
Oh, I
Absolutely, absolutely no one. Like we released our first EP and we were like, this song is the best, this one is the second best, and then everyone was like, I think for anyone who maybe is like listening to this, who listens to us, we came out of the studio and we were like, um, we think that my prayers are empty or show me that you understand. We're
mhm.
going to be like the bangers. And like I myself thought that the song So Afraid was our worst one. And then we released it and I no one talked about Show Me That You Understand. There was like a couple people that really, really liked My Prayers Are Empty. And then everyone was like, So Afraid is the best song that has ever been released. I want this played at my wedding for my first dance, my grand entrance, play it at my funeral. I'm playing it as my first child is born. Like that one. And then there's another song called like Bury Me. Everyone loves Bury Me. And we were so bad at guessing. So absolutely 100%. It happens so much. Um, but I'm still proud of
Oh yeah.
every song that we release. I mean,
Would you
it's
ever put
really
out a song if you disagreed with it?
like
Like if you put out a song and you thought, okay, let's say, or even disagree with it by the end of it, right? I don't know your guys' entire process of writing, or how long on average you think it takes you to make a singular song. I know that's a really janky question considering there's a
uh
bunch of things, but if you got to
uh
just no bills, no worries, life was just music, how long do you think it would take you guys to make a song?
from like, are we including the recording process?
Yeah, include whatever your normal process is now. Just take out like the other, like you don't have to stop recording and go to work. You don't have to, regular life shit is not normal here.
I mean, we could push out a song in our style and like if we went directly from, we had all day long to just sit and write music, we could put out a song in our style that I think would be pretty good. I would say like maybe 2.5, 3 days to actually sit down and write it if we were doing, like all day in the studio.
Mhm.
Um, and then day for drums, like maybe 6, 7 days to like put it out depending on like if we have like the best audio engineer in the world and they're only dedicated to doing our song right then,
Mhm.
like we could get it out in 6 to 7 days. Um, but I don't think that it would be like, it would sound a lot like what, it would sound a lot like us and it wouldn't be pushing the envelope at all. And we wouldn't be pushing ourselves, which is something we always strive for. Um,
That's what, and then that's actually an even better way to do it, or for me to phrase this question is, and maybe you have a song in mind. Have you ever had a song like evolve, right? Like you guys get together, however long it takes. Now, obviously, real life is involved in this one.
mhm,
And let's say over the course of 2 weeks, right? You pretty much are like, all right, cool. This is our intro. This is our chorus. Boom, we got the song figured out. We're gonna go to the studio next Saturday, hypothetically. But
mhm.
then the more you guys are playing it, the more you guys are playing it, you're like, oh, what if we added this, or what if we changed like some? But it's and like not just change it for the sake of changing, but you genuinely feel like it could be better. Like, have you ever had a song evolve like that?
Oh, all of them do. 100%. I mean, we I think what happens is we sit down and then we write the kind of foundation of a song. Like
Mm.
someone will bring a foundation, or we will sit down and we'll write the foundation of a song, and then we will jam it and we will feel it out, and then it just changes. I mean, most of the time it stays pretty true to our base foundation of what we've written, but little things are changed, fills are changed, new parts are put in, parts are rearranged. We put parts in different spaces. There's different. Everything changes. It's
What do you consider a bass foundation?
um, what the energy of the song would be. So like it would be like, okay, well we want to open up big and loud here. And this is not like kind of, it's not how we talk normally. We actually play the part and then we'll talk about the energy of a specific part. We need to calm
Mhm.
down here. It needs to be a quieter part. This needs to be more driving. This needs to be faster, slower. But the energy of it is really what the energy and the tone, the energy and like the timbre, the feel of it is really what I consider the foundation. So it's akin to if you're building a house and you see like the skeletal structure of it all. You know you're gonna have the living room here, and you're gonna have the bathroom here, and you're gonna have bedrooms up top.
Mhm.
That's probably not gonna change. But what is uh, in the living room, like what furniture, what the color of the walls are gonna be, what kind of walls you're gonna have, where the bedrooms are gonna be arranged, maybe it would change. So like the energy of it all and the tone of each part really doesn't change that much, but the details and the intricacies uh, change literally up until the moment we're recording it. There's like an inside joke where like um, I play a lot of lead guitars. I mean, we especially lately, Thomas, the other guitarist, and I share lead and rhythm duties. But there was a time where I was playing a lot of the leads, and the inside joke is like, why are you even writing your leads, Chris? You're just gonna rewrite them in the studio. Because I mean, past couple singles, it'll just be like either I will be like, oh, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. Give me 20 minutes. I need to write something new. Or our um, audio engineer Sean at Clarity Recordings, we love him dearly. He's
Shout out to
fantastic.
Sean.
Shout out to Sean at Clarity Recordings. He will be like, something is clashing here. I think you guys should change it. Let's listen to it a couple times and see how you feel about it. He's always so respectful. I love that guy. But a lot of the time, like even up to the very, very last minute, it will need to be changed to really hit the emotion we're going for, or really hit the idea that we're going for. Uh, yeah, I mean, I wish we could just pump out flawless songs
I don't we
within
all?
an
We'd all be
hour.
just we can't all be Ariana Grande, man.
But I
Uh,
think the fluid nature of art in itself, it just requires a period of fine tuning. It requires a period of coming to understand that song and understand the emotion behind it. And you cannot, you can. It's very difficult to just push it out as fast as possible without time to reflect on it.
no, so in it's two different spaces. It's when I record, a lot of times what I do, and I've got it off to the we just were laughing about this last week. I am one of those snobby 3 monitor people now. So I can look to the left and I got one. I can look
I
to the right, I
want a
got
third
one.
monitor so bad. I only have two. I'm a plebeian.
So I look to the right. What I always do is I like sketches. So like outlines basically of what I'm going to talk about for that segment. And the reasoning is what I think genuinely is my best ability of portraying sports as someone is like the immediate recall. And I don't want to take that away from myself for having a script. So um when especially like when you're live and in the moment, it's like, oh cool, yeah, I can throw that in there. And it kind of like as then even as I speak, I kind of get like that little like stick my chest and more confident, like fuck yeah, I just remembered that. Um so it's obviously much different than ones like you guys are, you're recording, writing like hundreds of times before ever putting it to like, all right, this is what it is.
Mhm.
um
I sometimes will change it after we've recorded it. I will play songs
I was
live
gonna ask, have
differently.
you guys ever
I
done that? Like,
dude, I will absolutely change up live sometimes just for the fun of it. I'm gonna throw in a little solo here because I can, and then they'll either look at me and be like, "Oh, that sounds cool," or I'll get death glares from Gavin and be like, "You shut up and play your parts correctly." Like,
um what has been your uh what is your favorite, like specifically for a moment, I don't want to use part, like what's your favorite part of being in a band because that's a little more generic. What has been probably like your favorite moment or top two favorite moments of the band, whether it's performing live, writing certain songs, like moments you can go to where you're just like fuck yeah, like this is like this week for me has just felt like a dream. Like I wake up, I record, and then I'm live streaming all day. Like this is what I want to do the rest of my life. So for me, it doesn't matter. Like I say, I'm not a numbers guy. I don't care what and I've had decent numbers this week. I'm like, I don't care what the numbers are. I don't care what's going on. Like I am just enjoying this so much. What has been like those kind of moments for you in life in Discord?
for me specifically, live performance.
Is there a
There's
specific one that like stands out?
um yeah, our the release show for our first EP,
Room to breathe.
Room to Breathe. Yes.
I
Oh,
got
you know it. You
that's
know
my
it.
wife has a shirt. I got you. No, I'm
um,
wearing the other. I'm not wearing the shirt. I'm wearing the shirt
are
I
you in
picked up. Don't
the?
forget, like, comments, sharing the Instagram post, get you additional entries, and we got another shirt. Don't forget, Chris. I need another shirt for the winner of the giveaway.
You need another shirt. I
I
got it.
need another one. I don't know the size yet, but I will need another shirt.
Yeah, yeah. Just let me know. But I think that our EP release show, um,
Was that
there
one
was
at
just
Soma?
yeah, yeah. I was at Soma, and I mean that's a just everything about that night was fantastic. I mean it's at Soma, and I go to Soma a lot for shows, just like I'm seeing a lot of my favorite bands play there. So being able to play there was really special, and every time we play there, it's really special. Um, I, it was just great because we were just starting out. We had put uh, all this love and heart into this EP, um, and to get to take that and to release it into the world. And I think it was our biggest show to date. We had yeah, there was a ton of people there. It was just such an incredible night to be able to play these songs that we had worked so hard for so many people that we care about, and to have people genuinely appreciate it. Um, it just on top of the fact that for me there's nothing like live performance. Like playing those songs. There's just uh, there's no words to describe it. On top of that, having such a monumentous occasion for the band and having so many people turn out was just incredible. Um, I guess uh, honestly, there's just a lot of moments being in a band where like, yes,
Yeah.
it's hard, it's a lot of struggle, it's a lot of bashing your head against the wall, but when it comes together, there's nothing like it. I mean, we opened for August Burns Red in December, and that was incredible because I listened to August Burns Red in high school. I slammed their albums on repeat, and to get to meet them and then perform on the same stage as them was incredible. It was fantastic. We were kind of nervous about it because we're not really in that musical wheelhouse, I guess. And so when we performed, we just threw everything into it, and we looked in the audience, and there were people going, "All right, okay, yeah, I like this. I dig it." Like it was when a stranger is surprised that you are good, is like a really good
That's
feeling.
yeah.
Like, oh wait, you know what you're doing.
That's one of the what's the way to phrase it? It's one of those things that like, yeah, they tell you it's like, don't feed into like likes or like the retweets or the admiration on social media, but it's like, but when it happens in real life and it's really the same thing, it's someone acknowledging
Yeah,
like, fuck yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like you walk around, like I said, with your chest out, like, fuck yeah, I did that. This
yeah,
stranger fucking likes me.
absolutely. I don't know. It's just because like it's just something about the fact that they have no horse in the race. They don't know you. They have no reason to go, you guys are awesome, but they do it anyway. You affected them somehow. You touched their life just a little bit. And that's why I think I can speak for Life in Discord when I say that that's why we do it.
That's fair. Give us because we had, like I said, a lot about you. Give us some, because that was obviously like, as you've been in a band, and I will speak for you for a second. You've done
Sick.
one of the, or attempted to do one of the hardest things possible, at least emotionally, which is I have seen you attempt to make bands with friends who you are really good friends with, but no disrespect to any of them, not as invested in music as you were.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give Chris his flowers at the end of this interview because Chris is one of the like. I'm gonna give Chris his flowers at the end of the video. So I saw you do that, and it's just like, as someone who was also passionate about shit, I just kind of like, man, that's gotta, like, from a distance, I'm like, that's gotta suck. Because like, you love these people, they could be your best of friends, but it's like, yeah, they don't have the same goal per se, or look at music the same way you do, which is fine. Everyone's allowed to have their own things. So as you've gotten into now a more serious band, and now you've entered as a bandmate, they becoming friends with Life in Discord. Describe that feeling.
Like becoming friends with them, like, being
Yeah.
more than just, I mean, yeah, you spend hours and hours and hours every single week with the same dudes in a room. You're going to become friends. I mean, you're going to care about each other. These are my boys. I mean, you know, um, being in a band is, especially right now, especially with 2020 having happened, especially with the way that music is kind of situated in society right now. It's difficult. We don't really make money. It's a struggle. You put hours and hours and hours of love into something, and you do it with, these guys right next to you, pulling on the same yoke as you, uh, and you're gonna bond. You're gonna care about each other. They're great. I trust any one of them, like with my life essentially. I mean, I don't think this band would have lasted as long as it has if I couldn't be friends with these guys. Um, and it's a brothers in arms type thing, really. I mean,
No,
uh,
that's
yeah, it's when you embark on something like this and you try to create something as, and like when I say big, I don't mean like we are, a huge band.
mhm.
When you embark on a project as big as uh, making music and everything that that entails, you bond. You bond
No,
and you learn to trust each other.
1,000%. Um, I was just telling Matt today when we recorded live A&M about 2 hours ago, and at the end of it, I was just like, as this entire process has worked its way, I'm like, and I use some credit too. Chris is the person who taught me how to use a microphone. Funny story, Chris also taught me how to use an interface, and I forget the first audio program, but Chris did it in about like 5 minutes, set it up, and like was cool. He was like, hey, I got to go to work for about 4 or 5 hours. I'll be back. I was like, cool.
Audacity, baby. I think it was Audacity, dude.
It could have been. I'm not sure anymore. But like, then I accidentally clicked X. I was like, fuck. So I then tried to figure out how to do. Now, mind you, and my shit's real easy. All I need the fucking microphone to do is just pick up my voice and not get too much of the outside. Like, I need the most basic form of a microphone. Dog, it took me 5 hours. Homie came back because we lived together at the time. He came back from work and he's like, "How's it going?" I'm like, "I couldn't figure it out. I've
Look,
been doing this for 4 hours. I can't figure it the fuck out. I can't. It can't hear me. The microphone don't
tears in your
hear."
eyes. Just like,
I was distraught.
But see, the problem is that I had been doing music recording for like 2 years before that. Or sorry, 2 years before I went to school for it, and then I had like 2 years of experience. So that was like 4 years of experience. And you're right, audio programs are insanely complicated for absolutely no reason. It's okay.
Yeah, but so like Chris helped me at the beginning. I gave Matt his flowers. I told Matt, I was like, yo, I want to do like, I didn't even know it was called the podcast at the time. I was like, I want to do a pre-recorded radio show. Chris and Matt looked at me like, it's called the podcast. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to do a podcast. And I told Matt, that's like, what time do you want to do it? I was like, well, I had to be at work at 6 a.m. What about 3? And Matt just voluntarily just woke up with me at 3 a.m. for the next week, let me use his camera. Like, he's edited videos for me across the, like, even some then, some now. I'm like, there's no hard foul without Matt. So super props to him. Props as well to the flowers I want to give you. There's very few people, and I'm a little narcissistic about this, I won't lie, but there's very few people who I feel genuinely like match or at the same level of work ethic I am. I said at the beginning of this, Chris and I live in 2 different time zones. Like, we just exist. Like, the Earth rotates for 24 hours. I'm up for 12 and he's up for the other 12. Like, it's very like, this is one of like the weird meetings. Like, we're up at the same time.
It really is. Like, I know you're gonna go to bed right after this, and I'm still up for another 6 hours. Like,
1,000%. And so, but even as I was doing it then, when I was getting up at 3 a.m. or 2:30, 2:45, whatever, to get ready, your boy was just going to bed. Like, there's very few people who genuinely, I feel like, they have the same kind of work ethic, love, drive, passion as I have myself. And Chris is 1,000% one of those people.
There was like a month when we were living together where I'd be like, oh, that's Justin's alarm. I should probably go to bed. Like,
Yeah,
like his alarm to get up was my alarm to go to sleep, and
yeah, that's how it goes. It's like, because
it's
when
really
you're that, and you've said it a bunch, like, when you are that invested in something, when you're that passionate about something, everything else goes out the fucking window. Like,
oh yeah,
you
it
want to
just
make
becomes a
that
thing you
work.
do. Like, and it's the same way as like eating, I guess. Like, or I have to do things. You just all
Now,
right.
yesterday I
Well,
barely ate. There's definitely days eating is not a high priority for me.
oh yeah, absolutely. I've forgotten to eat, and it's really funny that you say you're like, oh, I match you. The only reason I match you is because like whenever I'm tired, I'm like, Justin would push through, so I gotta push back. We're just like feeding into each other. Like in like a year or two, we're gonna be like, Justin wouldn't have eaten in 3 days. I don't need food right now, and you're gonna be like, I haven't slept in 2 weeks, but I guarantee you, Chris is awake right now. I can't like, and we're either gonna be dead or rich. So
That's gang. Yeah, no, it's like, you need that kind of passion. Like I said, I've done this when, like, literally I got like 2 views a week. And it's one of those things, and I'm kind of curious on your opinion before I get a couple more questions about life in Discord in, is this is something that I always thought was, originally I was a little bit, I won't lie, I was a little bit butthurt originally. But then I learned it's like, well, you gotta be rational about it. For people that support you, the person, but are not necessarily into the kind of content or thing that you make, because they're obviously going to tell you, hey, I wish you the best. Oh, I support you. I rock with you. But if they're genuinely not into it, it is, like I said, when I first started doing it, I sometimes looked at people like side eye. I was like, motherfucker, you said you support me, motherfucker. I got 2 views last week. I know your ass didn't fucking listen.
2 of them were me. What are you fucking
Yeah, like, I'm like, I don't know how many fucking times I clicked on my own video. I tried the refresh thing and YouTube took that shit off. So like, how, I guess, did you in your own head manage where, like, or if you even thought about it, was like, you know there's people that rock with you, support you as a person, but if they're just not into the kind of thing that you make, it's kind of hard to be like, damn, like you can't make them listen more, you can't make them be a bigger contributor.
Yeah, I guess I was the same way where I was like, well, you support me, like why aren't you doing everything? And it's I guess the way that I got it, because I don't feel like that anymore.
Mm-hmm,
Obviously, like it it was actually you were talking about like when I was in a band with friends who clearly weren't like like as committed as I was.
mm-hmm,
It was through that experience, um, and I kind of realized like I was trying to gently push my dreams onto them. Like I was forcing them to kind of shoulder the burden of my ambitions.
mm-hmm.
And I realized that's not good for anyone. I mean, it's not good for me because I have I guess societally higher ambitions than the normal person. Um, and to force people that I care about to shoulder some of that for me is selfish. And I look at that phenomenon that you're talking about kind of in the same way. And especially with the audience performer relationship, I don't want people to force themselves to listen to the things I make because that's not why I'm making it. I'm not making it so that people look at me. I'm not making it like, look, I can play guitar, I can write music. I'm not making it so that I'm the center of attention anymore. No, I'm not making it so that people will look at me. I'm making music. I'm making art so that people will enjoy it. And to expect people who just aren't into that art form in in general, like it's just not to their taste to try to kind of gently shoulder them into experiencing it is not only bad for them, it's completely opposite to what I want as an artist. And it took kind of that experience to make me rethink about it. And I guess it wasn't super terrible when I was like I didn't like hate people because they weren't like listening to my music, but I was like, well, you say you support me. I mean, like,
No,
why
it's
aren't you
it's
folks
it's
supporting
impossible
me?
to
Like,
not
yeah.
go through that. Like even when Noemi and I first started dating, and she and I'm doing podcasting back then, there was probably about like 2 months in, she felt back because she was like, "Hey, look, I'm sorry, I'm just not really that into it." And she made it seem like when she was telling it to me, like it was a lot more serious for her. I had already come to this conclusion. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not tripping." If I'm
Yeah.
talking about like if you made a show tomorrow and all you talk about is like she
What a
loves
coincidence.
certain reality shows, and I'm like, all you do is talk about reality shows. I love you. I'll support you. Like I'll give you the thumbs up. If you want to put some on Twitter, like I'll retweet or whatever. But like I'm probably not going to listen to it because I don't really give a fuck about reality shows.
Yeah, it's because like people will say that too. Like it's people will listen. Like I'll be like, oh, I'm in a band. Like there's stuff I guess if you want to listen, and then they'll come to me later and they'll be like, oh, I don't really listen to you guys. And they'll be so ashamed. And I'll be like, dude, it's not for everyone. Like that's totally fine. That's cool. Like you don't owe me your attention. Like just because
Yeah.
you know me.
But so let's go into about 10 more minutes here. Give me a some names. Like I know people's names, but for the sake of the interview, give me names and we'll make you say nice things about people that you care about. So give me the names of the other members of Life in Discord and what is the nicest thing off the top of your head you can say about them at this exact moment, 9:28 on a Wednesday night. Go.
Oh man, is this gonna be in court? Like, why did you name the? Actually, I can go commit a crime in 2 minutes because where were you at 9:28, 4/6/22? Oh well, actually, there's video. Uh, so we have our drummer is James Wilder. He is beyond the greatest drummer I've ever worked with. Like his ability to just come up with the most masterful drum beats that like don't impede on music but accentuate it is incredible. He's also he's one of the hardest working people I've ever met. He's like up there with like you essentially. I mean, he just is a powerhouse. Thomas Travers is the other guitarist. He is uh we mesh so well, like guitar wise. He's one of my favorite people to write music with. He's just so aware of the song and aware of what the song needs. His songwriting ability is so incredibly on point that I worry about being able to write guitar with anyone else because he's just so on point with all of his guitar parts, and he's one of the funniest guys. If a post on Twitter or on any of our social media
Oh, he's funny
made
as
you
fuck on Twitter.
laugh, yeah, it's him. It's Thomas. Thomas is the one that makes you laugh.
Thomas is the
Um,
only funny one in the
he is the only funny one in the band. I'm not crying, you're crying.
band.
Gavin is our lead singer. He's just literally, I mean, it's because I like keep going like they're so talented, but every single member of the band is like wildly talented. Gavin is a fantastic vocalist. He has that same kind of awareness of what a song needs. That Thomas has on a a vocal level. I mean, like just the dedication to the song itself, and not, hey, I'm the singer, look, I can sing, even though he can, um, is just awe-inspiring when I see like compared to other bands where you see lead singers who take up everything. Um, but he's also just literally the nicest dude that has ever existed. He cares so much about everyone, and he really just like he glues everyone together. He's just dependable and reliable. I love that guy. And then Christian is our bassist, and he's just the most all-around talented musician. I mean, he can sing, he can play drums, he can play bass, he can play guitar, and it all sounds good.
Damn.
Yeah, no, he can do everything, and he can do anything. It's incredible. He's also, I mean, he's got another band that sounds incredible as well. I mean, he is he's got so much musical talent coming out of every like inch of his body. It's insane, and he's so funny. He's so fun and kind. It's just great to be around him.
There we go. Okay, okay. I guess then to wrap it up, that's the gosh, I always hate this question. I hate this question for me, so I'm gonna put this question on you and make you feel awkward.
Shit, excellent.
Where do you guys see yourself in 2 years?
In 2 years, uh, moving forward. That I
That's
mean, I mean
all you can
that's
do.
that's what we're doing. We are right now we're in the middle of writing tons of new music. I mean, we're always kind of writing music, but specifically hunkering down and writing music. Um, we've got shows coming up. We
Promo.
coming Oh yeah, April 30th at Soma, San Diego. We will be playing with a bunch of really great bands like Sleep It Off, like Icona, like Super Destroyer SD, just a ton of super great bands. It's going to be a lot of fun. Love you guys to come out April 30th. But where we're moving in the next 2 years, just bigger releases, just everything we're doing now, but more of it. Like coming out of the pandemic where we can do anything. There, especially in industry like this, there's no shows.
Oh yeah, no,
There's
that
no,
was
oh, it was tough. It was like,
music went a lot of from the business side, a lot of people in music learned, damn, sales don't make that much money.
oh, absolutely not. No, I mean
Like
venues went under. That coming out of that was like coming out of like a no man's land in World War I, going, who made it? What bands made it? What like we lost like 8 million great bands.
I'm
I
happy
just
Soma made it. I'm a little shocked, but I'm happy
Oh,
that they
almost didn't. Absolutely almost didn't.
like
We lost so many good venues and so many bands that like the entire industry kind of feels like it's just picking itself up and dusting itself off, and figuring everything out. And I feel like we have figured out our path forward. And especially right now, we're working on a ton of stuff to really execute that, you know, in the next couple months, ideally. Just kind of figure out the way forward for us. And I think it's going to be great. I think we've got big releases in the future. I mean, I'm very, very happy with everything we're doing.
gang gang. Um, yeah, I think that's all I got. I think that's all I got for today. It's great to have you come on. Always fun to talk to you. This is Chris from Life in Discord. Yes, that's never just gonna sound normal.
Chris,
Uh,
Chris of Life and Discord's fame, if you would. Fame
uh,
is in like all very small letters though.
go check out a is there any, and I have to ask this because I know some people aren't on everything. Is there any DSP that you guys are not on?
I mean, we're not on Title. I think maybe like
Yeah, but you guys are on Spotify, Apple
we're
Music, all that
Spotify,
good.
Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, just everywhere, every single place you could think of.
I always forget Amazon has music.
Me too. Me too. Until we release something and then I have to make our promos and I'm like, oh, Amazon has music. That's right. No, but we are
Oh
we're on
fuck!
just about everything.
Go listen to them, shout them out. Once again, go like the post, share, comment, chance to win a shirt. Go see him out there April 30th at Soma. Good time, man. Appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.